Hey, what's up guys, Combat Critique here. In this video, let's take a look at every UFC fighter from India. Let's get started. We have Bharat Kandare. He is not very well known and he was actually, believe it or not, the first Indian in the UFC. A lot of people think Anshul Jubli is the first Indian in the UFC, but it was actually Bharat. He made his UFC debut back in 2017. At his record, he has 5 wins and 3 losses. He only has one UFC fight, that was against Song Yadong. Both these guys made their UFC debut. Bharat ended up losing the fight in the very first round via guillotine choke. And this fight happened in 2017. Bharat has not fought since 2017, and the reason for that is this. So USADA suspended him for 2 years back in 2018. His suspension got over in 2020. This man is really hard to find online. His online presence is zero. He does not really have an Instagram or a Twitter account. Not much is known, except while digging what he was up to, I found this article. So this was published in February of 2020, right before the pandemic and the lockdown happened. It says the first Indian-born UFC fighter, Bharat Kandare, needs your help to get back into the UFC cage. The article basically said how Bharat is helping his mother, who is not well, and he does not have the finances to fund his UFC journey. He doesn't have the money to, spend in the training and the supplementation part, and he needs help. In this article, he had given his bank account details and everything. Pretty sad downfall for the first UFC fighter from India. Now let's take a look at the second UFC fighter from India. Anshul Jubli, King of Lions, very well known in India as well as outside. He's had 3 UFC fights, he's won 2 of them arguably, and he's lost his last fight to Mike Braden. The reason I'm saying arguably, because if you watch his first fight, which is the fight against this guy, this fight happened in the road to UFC 1, and in this fight I think Anshul should have lost this fight. He was outstruck, even though the striking differential is not much, but the takedowns that Kyu Pyong Kim landed, I think he should have won this fight. Anshul got a knockdown. I think that is why he won a split decision. And after that, he beat Jeka Saregi via KO TKO in the second round and lost to Mike Braden in his last fight. He was actually doing good in the fight, but Mike in the third round started barking and decided to take it up a notch. Jubli could not handle and he was knocked out in the third round. I think if the fight would have gone the distance, Jubli would have won a decision. Anyways, yes, this is what happened in the third round. Mike Braden, after losing the first 2 rounds, came back in the third round to finish really strong. He put a beating on Jubli. Jubli seemed stunned and surprised by all the barking and all the antics that Mike was doing in the third round. This guy standing next to the boss, Dana White. Who is he? He is Indian kid, quite a popular guy in India as well as outside. He was in the road to UFC, where he lost his fight via unanimous decision. It was a 3-round fight. This dude is really young and he is a strong wrestler. However, his striking is not that good and he lost the fight because of this. Overall, his record is 8 wins and 1 losses. Prior to his UFC fight in the road to UFC, he was 8-0 undefeated. So pretty solid guy, and he is still young. I think he can still improve. And every time Sumit would go for a takedown, his opponent would time him with a knee. And if you look at the scorecards, all 3 of the judges gave it 28-29 to his opponent. He lost the last 2 rounds. He won the first round because of his wrestling. In the second round, his opponent figured out his takedowns and started timing them with knees. Now let's take a look at the next guy, Rana Rudra Pratap Singh. So this man is 11-2, not very well known, even though he fought in the Road to UFC 2 card, same as Sumit Kumar. He lost the fight in the very first round via knockout to Chang Ho Lee, and this man is still really young. He has a lot of scope to improve. The strong win for Chang Ho Lee. This is the knockdown that eventually led to the finish. Now let's take a look at somebody who just got recently signed to the UFC. Pooja Tomar, the Cyclone. Her height is listed as 4'9" on Sherdog and 5'1" on Tapology. So it's a debate, but either way, she is not really tall for the division. Her record is 8 wins and 4 losses. 6 of those 8 wins have been via knockout, and the other 2 via decision. If we talk about her 4 losses, she's lost once via knockout and thrice via submission. She reminds me of Jessica Andrade. She is short but has knockout power. She's not fought for the UFC yet, but she is on the roster. If we take a look at some of her previous fights, she's fought B. Nguyen twice now, and in the first fight she lost via split decision. Then she came back to beat B in the second fight via TKO in the second round. And she's also fought Stam Fairtex. She lost that fight in the very first round. But either way, I think she is a really exciting prospect. She brings a lot of eyes, the Indian audience, to the UFC scene, and for that, I'll be tuning to watch all her fights. Let me know what you guys think about these Indian fighters. What is the future of Indian MMA in the comments below. I'll see you guys in the next video.